Hey guys, this is Tucker with a quick tutorial on the difference between active and passive voice. And I've gotten a lot of questions about this as we wrap our research papers. And one of the things that's really important to remember is writing an active voice tends to make your writing feel more clear, more crisp, and more powerful. So what I'm trying to get you guys to do is to understand the difference so you can make sure that when you're writing, you are writing in that active, strong voice. So what's the difference? Active voice means that the subject of the sentence is doing the action. So the first thing you have to do when trying to decide if a sentence is written in active or passive voice is to identify the subject. What is the person, place, or thing that is doing the action in the sentence or is being something in the sentence? So for example, in this sentence below, Tucker loves coffee. The subject of the sentence is Tucker. And what is Tucker doing? Loving coffee, right? Tucker loves coffee. So in this sentence, the subject is doing the action. The subject is loving coffee. Now, passive voice means that the subject of the sentence is receiving the action. So instead of doing the action, they're receiving the action. So that exact sentence rewritten in passive voice would read, coffee is loved by Tucker. So here we have coffee shifted almost into this like subject position, and Tucker is receiving the action, right? Coffee is loved by Tucker, instead of Tucker loving coffee. Now, the word by is one you want to keep your eyes open for. So a lot of times in passive voice, you'll see the word by. So that should be a little bit of a red flag that potentially you are writing in passive voice. So we want to flip this around and have it read like the sentence on the previous slide. Tucker loves coffee. Even the difference between those two sentences, it should sound more direct, more clear. Tucker loves coffee, as opposed to coffee is loved by Tucker, which is a little bit more wordy, a little bit more unclear and convoluted. Now, note that coffee becomes a subject, but even though it's moved into the subject position, it isn't doing anything. Coffee is not doing any action. So even though the subject appears to be coffee, we know this is written in passive voice because the coffee itself isn't doing anything. So keep in mind that the subject is the person, place, or thing that does or is something in a sentence, and that subject should be doing whatever the action is, right? It should be doing whatever the verb in the sentence is. Now, if you're thinking about, okay, I am realizing I write in passive voice, I need to switch it to active, you need to be, like I said, keeping an eye open for clues. And one clue is the word by, which often appears in sentences that are written in passive voice. So another example of a passive voice, a sentence written in passive voice is, the girl was attacked by the dog. Now, the girl is in the subject position, but the girl didn't actually do anything. She was the victim. It was the dog who did the attacking, right? So we need to flip the sentence around and say, the dog attacked the girl. And again, if you compare these two sentences, the second one is clean, it's clear, it's crisp, it's much stronger than the first sentence, which was written in passive voice. Just a couple more examples. So a song was written by a talented young actress. Again, the song is in the subject position, but the song isn't doing anything. The young actress was the one who wrote the song, so she's our subject, right? So we have to flip the sentence again and say, the talented young actress wrote the song. That would be active voice. Last example. the homework had been done by only half the class. Now, the homework, right? Homework is sitting in subject position, but the homework didn't do anything. It is half of the class that is our real subject because it is only half of the class that had actually done the homework or completed the homework, right? So we got to flip it and make half of the class our subject. So in active voice, this would read, only half the class did the homework. So again, just be thinking about what is my subject, what is actually doing the action in the sentence, and is the sentence written so that it's clear the subject is doing that action, or has it been written so that the subject is receiving the action? And so you want your subject to be really active in the sentence, right? You don't want the subject to be passive. So keep those things in mind as you approach practicing identifying active and passive voice, as well as starting to look critically at your own writing to make sure you're writing in active voice.